Welcome to the first annual Ultimate Tier List. This is a compilation of my compilations of tier lists. Hope you enjoy, and make sure to subscribe. Stick to the end. Hello guys, today I'm ranking Minecraft updates, starting from 1.12 because that's when I started playing. Let's just get right into it. First up is Village and Pillage. I'm gonna do A tier because it revolutionized trading, but that's mostly it. Aquatic update, I'm gonna do S tier because it brought the Trident and dolphins, which makes the game a lot better, and it also showed the team's creativity. Another update S because it brought Netherite and also a lot of creativity like 1.13. B, so I'm gonna do C tier because the only thing it adds is B. And lastly, 1.12 World of Color, I'm gonna do B because even though that's when I started playing, for just not all that good, so I can't give it higher than B. That's it. Make sure to subscribe. Bye bye. Hello guys. Today I'm gonna make Mario character tier list part 3. Let's just jump right into it. First up is Bonsai Bill. I'm gonna do A tier because he doesn't do that much in the series, because most of the time he's overshadowed by Bullet Bill. And speaking of Bullet Bill, I put him in A tier as well. The only time he gets really annoying is when the Bullet Bills like stack up. Next is Thwomp. I'm gonna do B tier because he is insanely annoying sometimes on some of the Mario Kart tracks. Lastly, Magic Koopa, I'm also gonna put him in B because the fact that he can teleport makes him really annoying. That's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye bye. Ranking Mario characters, part 2. First one is the Goomba. I'm gonna do A tier because he's not even that bad of an enemy and he's also pretty cute. Bowser Jr., I'm gonna do barely B tier because he always goes whenever you like do anything. Toad, I'm gonna do A tier because sometimes he goes too much. And lastly, Koopa, I'm gonna do also A tier because he's just a little guy. So that's it. Stay tuned for part 3 and bye bye. Ranking Mario characters, part 1. First up is Mario. Gonna do A because I feel like he's basically just a default character. Luigi, I'm gonna do S tier because he's really misunderstood and he's very underrated. Bowser, I'm gonna do A tier because I feel like he's also misunderstood. And Peach, I'm going to do B tier. So that's it. Bye bye. Hey guys, today we're ranking Fortnite game modes, so let's just hop right into it. First up, Rocket Racing. I'm gonna do B tier just because I can't play it, but I'm sure it's good. Lego Fortnite, I'm gonna do S tier. That one's just amazing. Some people say it's a copy of Minecraft. I say not really that much. Fortnite Festival, I'm gonna do B tier just because I don't have a good song list right now, but once I get a good song list, then it will be good. And lastly, normal Fortnite, I'm gonna do A tier because, well, it's Fortnite. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye bye. Hey guys, today I'm ranking childhood classic consoles. Let's just begin. First up, the DS. I'm gonna do A tier because although I love the console and I still do, I didn't really get too many great games for it. Still loved it though. The Xbox, I'll do A tier because I only really had it for like half a year, but then it got the infamous Red Ring of Death. And then lastly, the Wii, it's definitely an S tier. I still play it to this day. It's amazing. The game selection's great. The feeling of the controller is great. Just all out, just an amazing console. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye bye. Hey guys, back again with another short tier list. Let's just get right into it. First off, PlayStation. I'm gonna do A tier because the only thing that holds them back is nowadays they're just like PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. And at least Xbox has a little bit of changes in their name. Oculus, I'm gonna do A just because the company that runs them sometimes isn't stable, so at any point the company can shut down. If it was a little bit more stable, I'd put it in S. PC, I'm just gonna do S tier because half the time you like get all the games that PCs do if you just like get Steam or something. And finally, Xbox, I'm gonna do A tier. I would put them in B tier, but just because they actually don't name it just like PS3, PS4, PS5, I'll put them in A tier. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bye-bye and subscribe. Hey guys, another short tier list. Let's just jump right into it. Baby, S tier, dude. You don't have to do crap when you're a baby. They'll scoop your own poop and they'll like just do anything for you. Old man, I'll do A tier because, actually no, B tier because basically you just get free government money. Middle-aged adult, I'll do A tier because at that point you have life figured out. Teenager, I'll do B tier because you have a little bit of time to develop relations with your friends, but also it can be a stressful period. Toddler, S tier because when you go in preschool they give you free naps. Young adult, I'll do B tier because it might be confusing. And kid in S tier because then you get into elementary school. Bye-bye. Hey guys, today I'm gonna make a really, really short tier list. It's just gonna be silverware tier list. Spoon, I'm gonna do A tier. Really kind of the backbone of soup and mashed potatoes and all that. Fork, S tier because like they could basically get anything. And knife, I'm gonna do, I don't know why I have here, let me move that down. I'm gonna do C tier just because I don't use it that much. So that's it. If you like tier lists, you can check out my long form tier lists. They're slightly longer, but they're still tier lists, so yeah, that's it. Bye-bye. Ranking drinks, part 1. First up is energy drinks. I'm gonna go with A just because sometimes some of the energy drinks are just really bad. Water is S tier. It's like the best drink. Fruit punch is also S. The Capri Sun ones and the Hawaiian Punch ones are like some of the best drinks you can get. Milk, S tier. It's great with dinner, but for some reason I drink it alone. I start to get stomach aches and I don't know why. Lemonade, A because sometimes some of the store brand ones aren't very good. Gatorade, I'm gonna also do A because I drink it a lot even when I'm not doing any sports activities. Lime sodas, A tier. Sprite, McDonald's Sprite is really good. Grape juice, B, not very good. Subscribe for part 2. Hey guys, today I'm doing Fortnite chapter tier list. Let's just get right into it. First up, chapter 3, I'm gonna do A because although chapter 3 season 1 and chapter 3 season 2 are amazing, chapter 3 season 3 and chapter 3 season 4 sucked. Next up, chapter 2. I'll do S tier for me. I know it would be A tier for some people because of how long chapter 2 season 1 was. But I joined like halfway through chapter 2 season 1. And mostly the rest of the seasons were great. Chapter 4, I'll do B tier because chapter 4 season 3 and chapter 4 season 4 were meh. And then finally chapter 1, S tier, because that was the start of the game and that was also just a great period. Subscribe for more. Bye-bye. Hello guys, today I'm going to be ranking Star Wars episodes part 1. If you didn't know, I made a second channel called Pluto777 and animates and edits, so if you want to see that, click the link below in the pinned comment. Anyways, let's begin. Episode 2, I'm gonna do B tier because it's not, actually, I'll still do B tier because the Coliseum was pretty cool, but the rest isn't pretty good. Episode 1, B tier because, well, Phantom Menace fight was good, but then the pod racing sucked. Lastly, episode 3, S tier. The fight at the very end was really cool, and it's also very awesome episode. Bye-bye. Subscribe. Ranking Star Wars episodes, part 2. Also, if you want to see more content from me, check out my second channel, Animates, because I just launched it. Anyways, let's begin. Episode 4, I'm going to do A tier because a lot of it is just the droids walking in sand and stuff. Next, Return of the Jedi, S tier because, well, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker fight. And lastly, Empire Strikes Back. I'm also going to do S tier because that's where Anakin starts to learn of his Jedi abilities and all that stuff. So, if you want to see more content, make sure to subscribe, and bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome to the final part of Star Wars Tier List movies. Let's just begin. Okay, first up is episode 7. I'll give it a C tier because somehow Leia has the Force now, I guess. And then episode 9, I'll do also C tier because the ending was pretty bad and also somehow Palpatine returned. And lastly, episode 8, I'll do B tier because at least that one doesn't have to pull like a random absolutely out of nowhere move. So, that's it. Make sure to subscribe and check out my other channel, Ian Animates, and bye-bye. Ranking Iconic Dogs, Part 1. Okay, first up, 101 Dalmatians dog. I'll do B tier because it's been a long time since I watched the movie, and I forgot if it's good or not. Next up, Nintendog, I'm going to do S tier because that game seems very fun. I wish I had it. Next up is Snoopy. I'll do A tier because he's a pretty interesting and fun character. Lastly, Scooby-Doo, S tier because he's the comedy lead in Scooby-Doo. Anyways, that's it. Make sure to check out my other channel, Ian Animates, and bye-bye. Ranking DSs. Let's begin. Also, this does not count for any of the new DSs or the XLs. So, let's just begin. Okay, first up, 2DS, I will do B tier. It's personally not for me. I could see why a lot of people like it. I know it's comfortable, but I don't like it too much because it won't fit in my pocket and I have to take a backpack everywhere. And that was kind of the whole point of the 3DS and 1DS for me. Not 1DS, DS for me. Next up, DS, S tier because it has Nintendogs and all that good stuff and it was revolutionary at the time. Lastly, 3DS I'll do A tier because I know that the 3D could be kind of bad and that was the main selling point. That's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye-bye. Ranking Iconic Nintendo Home Consoles, Part 1. Okay, first up, the GameCube. I will do A tier just because that's when Luigi's Mansion released and also Super Mario Sunshine. SNES, I'll do also A tier because that kind of revolutionized the gaming industry as a whole. And speaking of revolutionizing, NES, I'll do S tier because it basically saved the entire gaming industry. And lastly, the N64, I'll do A tier because the controller is not very good, but I could play 3D games. So, that's it. Ranking Nintendo Home Consoles, Part 2. Also, Wii U not included. Also, Switch does count, but not its other variants. Okay. First up, the Switch. I will do S tier because it has great games. It has Smash Bros. Ultimate, it has Mario Wonder, it has Mario Odyssey, just all those great games. Wii, also an S tier because it has Wii Fit, it has the 2.5D Mario Bros. Series, it has Majora's Mask Remake, just all that great stuff. Lastly, the GameCube, I'll do B. Although it introduced to Luigi's Mansion, it didn't sell very well. And I feel like if you just waited till the Wii, you would have got much more bang for your buck. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe. Ranking snacks, Part 1. And also, this does count for snack variants and all that stuff. First up, Goldfish. I will do A tier, but if you're going off the base flavor, I do B tier. Next, Takis, also an A tier. The only thing that doesn't make them an S tier is the fact that half the time when I'm done eating them, it gives me a stomachache. Cheez-Its, I'm gonna do S tier because like all the flavors are good and they're just a really nice snack. And lastly, Doritos, also S tier because they perfect the seasoning to chip them out. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye bye. Ranking snacks, part 2. Also, I couldn't get a fourth one in because my internet was being bad. Anyways, here we go. Mott's fruit snacks, I'll do S tier because they're like little small pouches. All you have to do is open it, shove it all in your mouth, and then just throw it away. It's really simple and efficient. Next up, whales, I'll do A tier. I'm not so sure about it nowadays because last time I ate it was like in kindergarten, watching Sid the Science Kid. Lastly, Little Bites, I'll also do S tier because they're chocolate. Little Bites hit the spot, and so do their birthday cake. If you want to see more content from me, make sure to check out my second channel, Leon Animates, and bye-bye. Ranking iconic dogs, part 2. Here we go. First up, Alice dogs. Now I'm going to base this off difficulty. I'll do B tier because all you have to do is just disable your mic and crouch. Next up, the dog with human teeth. I'll do A tier because I used to be scared of it, but now I just laugh at it. Pitbull and Princess, I'm going to do B tier because it depends on if you're on the friendly side of him or on the enemy side of him. Lastly, Clifford the Big Red Dog, I'll do S tier because he big fluffy Bubba dog. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye-bye. Ranking underrated characters, part 1. Let's begin. Okay, first up, the sad guy from Winnie the Pooh, I'll do A tier because I feel like he needs more love and he's just really sad little guy. Next up, Phone Guy, I'll do also A tier because he seems like a pretty chill guy. Egad, I'll do B tier because apparently he's a villain. Lastly, Luigi, I'll do S tier because it's very underrated. He's only in like 6 games and usually always like gets tortured in the Mario Bros. Video games. So that's it. Make sure to subscribe and bye-bye. Ranking snacks, part 3. First up, chocolate. S tier because they're just really amazing dark chocolate and they also have a lot of other flavors too. Next up, lollipops. A tier because sometimes they don't fit in my mouth as easily as other candies and it can be really hard to bite sometimes. Next up, popcorners. A tier, so long as you find the right flavors. And last but not least, Sun Chips. A tier because they're very easy to eat and they're very good with a lot of seasoning. Ranking Nintendo handhelds, part 1. Also, this includes major variants, but not like small variants. And also for the Game & Watch, obviously, it's not all 50 variants. Okay, Game & Watch, I'll do A tier because you get one game and they're pretty cheap, and you can sell them for quite a bit nowadays. The graphics are pretty good because it's like calculator stuff. Game Boy Advance, I'll do S tier because not only did it have color, it also could play like really, really good games. So good that they had a Game Boy Advance game slot on the DS. Game Boy, I'll do A tier because I'll do A tier because it couldn't do color, obviously, which is why they made the Game Boy Color, which I'll do S tier because it could like do any color. So that's it. Ranking Nintendo handhelds, part 1. Also, this includes major variants, but not like small variants. And also for the Game & Watch, obviously, it's not all 50 variants. Okay, Game & Watch, I'll do A tier because you get one game and they're pretty cheap, and you could sell them for quite a bit nowadays. The graphics are pretty good because it's like calculator stuff. Game Boy Advance, I'll do S tier because not only did it have color, it also could play like really, really good games. So good that they had a Game Boy Advance game slot on the DS. Game Boy, I'll do A tier because I'll do A tier because it couldn't do color, obviously, which is why they made the Game Boy Color, which I'll do S tier because it could like do any color. So that's it. Ranking Nintendo handhelds, part 2. Okay, first up, 3DS, I'll do A tier because they added a joystick, but there were complaints about the 3D thing, which is like the main marketed thing, making people dizzy. Okay, DS, I'll do S tier because it's like the main thing I grew up with, and it has amazing games as well. Game Boy Advance SP, I'll do A tier because that's kind of what inspired the DS a little bit, and the DS is like one of my most favorite handhelds of all time. Lastly, 2DS, I'll do B tier for me because I like the clamshell design, and the 2DS kind of removes that feature. So that's it. Ranking Nintendo handhelds, part 3. Also, this is the last Nintendo handheld video. Okay, Switch, I'll do S tier because it has like one of the best gaming libraries out there, and I also really like the portability on it. 2DS XL, I'll do A tier because it basically has the same stuff as new 3DS XL, except you can't put on faceplates. New Nintendo 3DS XL, I'll do S tier because you can put on faceplates. It's also just a really cool console. Lastly, Wii U, I'll do B tier because it didn't sell very well, and then like now why would you just buy a Wii U when you can buy a Nintendo Switch? So that's it. Ranking PlayStation handhelds, part 1. I'm not really used to PlayStation handhelds, but anyways, let's begin. So I think that's the PlayStation Portable first. I'll do S tier because it has like a lot of great games, and it was really, really portable too, so the name fits it really well. Vita is also, actually no, I'll do A because it didn't sell very well, but it was still pretty good. PS Pocket, I'll do B tier because it can only run one game, I think. I think it can only run Crash Bandicoot. Lastly, PlayStation Portal, I'll do B tier because you always have to be connected to the internet, and it has to be a really strong connection too, depending on how far away you are from your PlayStation 5. So that's it. Ranking Spider-Man movies, part 1. Okay, first up, Spider-Man 3. I'll do S tier because besides the comics, that was like the first introduction of symbiote, and also I believe it was Venom. Yeah, it was Venom the villain too. Spider-Man 2, I'll do A tier just because I used to have an old Spider-Man 2 game on my DS, and I love the DS. Spider-Man 1, S tier, obviously because it was like the first movie. And Amazing Spider-Man 1, B tier, I don't remember much about it. I think it was just the one where he fought the lizard. I'm not a huge fan of it. So that's it. Ranking Spider-Man movies, part 2. Okay, first up, Spider-Man Far From Home, I'll do, I guess, A tier because this was before all the series started occurring, and it was a pretty good movie too. Spider-Man No Way Home, I'll do S tier because I love seeing all the Spider-Men work together. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I guess I'll do B tier because I didn't watch it much. I don't remember much of the movie, and I think that's also the one where Mary Jane dies. Spider-Man Homecoming, I'll also do S tier because I thought the new Spider-Man was pretty cool, and there wasn't a Spider-Man movie for 3 years until that movie. So that's it. Sunday special. Ranking iconic cats, part 1. Okay, first up, Elgato Cat, easy S tier. He was a pretty cool PNG, and he was a real-life cat, but unfortunately he passed away, I think. Cats the movie, C tier because I heard it was really bad. I haven't watched it personally, and I still don't want to. Box cats, I'll do S tier because usually they're pretty chill, but sometimes they can claw you a little bit. The cat from Miles Morales, I'll do S tier because he can do takedowns with you and he's really cute. So that's it. Ranking DC characters, part 1. Okay, Bane, I'll do A tier because he's like just a buff guy, I guess, and that's a superpower. Superman, I'll also do A tier because I didn't grow up with him as much as like Batman, Spider-Man, and all those guys. Batman, I guess I'll do A tier because, actually no, I'll do S tier because I did grow up with him quite a bit, and I just think that his gadgets are really cool. Lastly, Joker, S tier. I feel like he's really misunderstood as a character. So that's it. Ranking DC characters, part 2. Okay, first up, Cyborg. I guess I'll do A tier because I didn't grow up with him that much, but he's a pretty cool character. Wonder Woman, I guess I'll also do A tier because I didn't grow up with her as much as other superheroes. Robin, I'll do B tier because when I played the Lego Batman movie, my brother would always become Batman, cooler guy, and Robin, and I'd always become Robin, and it was really annoying. Lastly, Green Lantern, I'll do C tier because his whole power, I think, is like that he can imagine things, and he just imagines like hammers and stuff. Like, why can't you imagine something more interesting? So, that's it. Ranking DC characters, part 3. Okay, first up, Mr. Freeze. I guess I'll do A tier because really all he wanted to do was save his wife, I think. Lex Luthor, I guess I'll also do A tier. Actually, no, B tier because I don't remember him all that much. Raven, also B tier because I can't really remember many episodes where she was included a lot. Beast Boy, I guess I'll do A tier because he was included quite a bit, and he was also a part of my childhood a little bit. So that's it. Ranking Marvel characters, part 1. Okay, this one's gonna be not necessarily an obvious one, but a really easy one, because Captain America is S tier, Hulk is S tier, Iron Man's S tier, Spider-Man's an S tier. So Captain America's an S tier because he, first off, he defeated the bad guys in World War II. He also is just a really cool character. Hulk is cool because he just doesn't care and is just really destructive. Iron Man's pretty cool because he sacrificed his life to save everyone else, and also he doesn't even have any superpowers, he's just smart and rich. And Tom Holland's Spider-Man's an S tier because, well, he's Spider-Man, and I used to grow up with Spider-Man a lot. Ranking Marvel characters, part 2. Okay, first up, Black Panther, I'll do S tier because he was a pretty cool character and unfortunately he passed away. Hawkeye, I'll do B tier because the only thing he can do is shoot arrows, and that's kind of it. Black Widow, I guess I'll do B tier as well, kind of same with Hawkeye, except it's just like combat. Thor, I'll do S tier because he's like one of the main people and is a really cool guy. So that's it. Ranking Marvel characters, part 3. Okay, first up, Nick Fury. I guess I'll do A tier because he was the founder of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he doesn't really have much of a superpower. Doctor Strange, I'll do S tier because he's a pretty cool dude and can like do time stuff. Captain Marvel, I guess I'll do B tier because I don't really know what her superpower is, and I don't know, just don't really know her much. Miss Marvel, I guess I'll do A tier because I at least know her power. I guess she can just, does she? I don't know, I thought she could just extend her arms and parts of her body. So that's it. Please subscribe, comment down below what characters you want to see next, and bye-bye.